Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House. Wanted to shoot again another prepping SHTF video for you. And today we're going to be talking about food storage. What do you guys have? And what are your plans for food storage? Because I've talked to a few preppers and they don't store food, and I'm scratching my head at that. And it's like, yeah, you can hunt, but you're not gonna get food every time you go out there, which means if you don't have anything, you're gonna be going hungry more than you're gonna be getting game or whatever, especially in a emergency situation where everybody and their uncle's out in the woods hunting at the same time. So yeah, I would highly suggest you guys put some food back. Rice and beans, bullets and band-aids, as they say. You want to have your stuff ready to rip, and you can do it super cheaply, guys. You guys see me hit the dollar store and do all kinds of stuff on the cheap, and it's fairly healthy food, and it's long-term food. 25-year shelf life in the conditions I keep it in. Cool, dry place, no oxygen in the containers, or very little, and it's perfect. Fill up a few 2-liter bottles that have been thoroughly cleaned and dried out of your favorite soda beverage, and once they're cleaned out and dry, start adding with a funnel whatever food you want to put back. Rice is excellent. You can fill a 2-liter full of rice all the way to the top, shake it around, get all the air out of there, and that stuff is golden for 25 years. Same with the beans. Put a mixture of beans in, soup mixes, lentils, barley, all kinds of goodies you can throw in 2-liter bottles. And then separately load up on spices and store them however you can, whether it be making your own little Mylar container bags, mason jars, anything like that would be a good idea. Spices are pretty important, and a lot of people don't. I think I'm the only guy on YouTube that talks about spices for their food quite a bit. You can put all the food away in the world, and if you don't have any spices, guys, that food's gonna suck. It's gonna be bland. It's gonna be nasty. You gotta have some kind of seasonings and a variety of different seasonings to make the food last and stretch out so your body doesn't reject it, type of thing, and your taste buds don't reject it. But then again, you could also just starve for a couple days, then eat something, and you don't care what it tastes like. It's food, and you're good to go. That's another way of getting around the not having spices. But spices are cheap, and it's better to stock up now than to not have them in the future, because really, spices don't go bad if you store them properly. They're normally already powdered, ground up, and in sealed containers, so you can do quite well. Costco is a good place for seasonings in bulk. Though here in Canada, the variety of seasonings that they have at these big bulk stores are mediocre, in my opinion. There should be an entire Costco aisle of spices going on in all different sizes, in my opinion. But they don't have that. So, you know, because, you know, rice is great, guys, but if you don't have any butter, salt, pepper, or other seasonings like cayenne or turmeric to throw in, just to change the flavor, add a little bit of zing, then, you know, okay. You can steam some white rice and eat it, that's just fine, but eventually you'll get sick of that. And, you know, you gotta have something. You gotta throw a little bit of something in there. You can go grab wild edibles, chop them up, throw them in, that will help. Flavor and texture of the food. What else? You know, if you do, or if you are able to catch some game, you could throw that in with the rice. Make like a stew. Goulash or something. But yeah. But it just blows my mind that there's preppers out there that do not store food. Guys, food is not expensive right now. Get it while the getting's good. And you can rotate that food. You don't have to like put it away and never look at it again. Once a year you can start rotating it, start using it up, and then maybe next year, hey, I'm gonna, you know, start buying some more and putting it back, you know. So, I don't know. It just blew my mind that there were some preppers that I talked to out there that do not store food. They think they're just gonna grab their hunting gear and get a hit every single time that they're out there. And it's unbelievable, guys. I'm shocked at that. Pretty shocked. But, what can you do? So, other than food though, guys, what do you think else is important? I know the number one's going to be water and shelter for me. If you have a good water and shelter setup, food is last on your menu, because really, I think maybe that's their mindset about not storing food. If they have a nice place to go and they have water access and water treatment, then they're okay. You can last 30 days without food. But remember, guys, that saying is okay, except the fact that 2 weeks in without food, you probably don't want to feel like doing anything, and except laying in bed or something like I'm doing right now. And yeah, probably not a good idea. So, and guys, remember, when you're doing food storage and an emergency happens, you don't have to bust out a big gourmet meal of this stuff. Just take a little bit of stuff, ration it out. Maybe like, you know, a quarter of a handful of rice, and the same with beans. Cook that up, a little seasoning, and then wait it out. Eat that. Maybe just have that one meal that day. And then that's rationing. And then you can just do tiny little meals per day like that. You'll have to change it up with varieties, seasonings and stuff, whatever. But that'll get you by, so you're not blowing through your food stock within the first week or two. You want to ration this stuff out during an emergency. Hey, it's great you have food storage. You're great. You're a prepper. You thought ahead. It's super cheap at the time, and now it's almost impossible to get because the grocery stores are closed or ransacked, etc., etc. You can stay at home, chill out, watch out for the bad guys, because they'll be rooting around. And you know, you just ration the food out that you have. You could have a whole ton of food. That doesn't mean you sit down and just pig out. You want to ration this bastard off and then you're good to go. Like 1 meal a day and a small meal, like quarter of a, not even a quarter cup, like a quarter of a handful of rice and beans, and a little bit of seasoning. You're good to go. You can cook that quick without sending smells off. And then you know, you're good to go. Just eat that, and then just coast on that, and then just pound water all day. Because as long as you have a decent water supply and water treatment, you're good to go. And then, you know, like you say, in that emergency, you don't know how long it's going to last. Week, month, year. You know. And then in the meantime, you can be out doing your hunting and gathering. Wild edibles. Set up your snares. Maybe do a little bit of hunting. But like I say, guys, you're not the only one going to be looking for food out there. And let's say, you know, especially in the U.S., some of these states and cities, man, if they all jump into the woods and start looking for food, the animals in said areas are going to get the hell out, and you'd be driven to other areas. And that, I believe that's what happened with the bison or the buffaloes. They were over harvested and driven around different areas because there were so many people out harvesting them that it was redonkulous. And they were almost, yeah, they almost got to the point where they were extinct. So it was pretty insane. And that would happen for any game out there. Let's say New York City empties out into the woods in the New York State somewhere, and everybody and their uncle's looking for food. You'll end up shooting another person. Your odds of shooting another person would be better than finding game at that point. And that's pretty scary, guys, because you can be blown away. Let's say you're hunting with your family or something. You got your bug out bag. You got some gear with you. And then you're looking around for deer or whatever. And then you hear a bunch of other people out there doing the same. Nobody knows who's who or what's what. And shots are going off. Sounds like a place I would never want to be in, or a situation I would never want to be into. Because remember, guys, most of the people that are going to go looking for food are going to be already stressed to the hilt, probably are not used to hunting in the first place, and you'll end up getting killed or killing somebody else, and then it'll be a disaster waiting to happen. So like I say, guys, if you're not putting food back, what the hell? Get it while it's cheap. And if you're skeptical about putting food back, then why are you prepping? Is my question. Because you cannot rely on just hunting and fishing, guys. There's no way. Do you know how many people will be doing the same thing in that situation? Are you going to be sitting there hunting with a million other people in the woods? No. Because the game ain't going to be there. They're going to be all scared off because all the freaking noise in there. And, you know, as you remember, guys, these people hunting, too, they're going to be talking. They're not going to be quiet because they probably never done it before. They're going to be making so much noise, any game, anywhere is going to be hidden or ran off to other areas because of the friggin' noise. So it's just mind-blowing to think that, oh, I got all my hunting gear, I'm good. You know, I don't have to put any food back. Yeah. yeah. So tell me tell me the ratio, guys. If you're an avid hunter, do you get an awesome kill and hunt every single time you go out? What's the ratio on that? And then add in the fact, well, there's a million other people with me now in the same woods in different areas, stirring up, making all kinds of noise, and then do the ratio on that. So your percentage of getting anything goes way down. And then let's say you shoot something and it's actually a deer. You'll have other people come over and say, hey, I cut a piece off of that. Or, hey, here's a knife to your neck. Thanks buddy. I just got a nice kill. I'll take your bug out bag, your gear, your hunting gear, and all that stuff too. And then your SHTF is over, and they'll just leave you out in the woods for the coyotes and whatever. But yeah, guys, you got to be smart, and you got to strategize this crap. You can't just pretend, oh, I'm a good hunter, I got lots of gear, I'll just go out and then I'll be self-sufficient just like that. Except everybody and their uncle has that same idea. That would be like, it's the equivalent of the power's out, you know, money, the ATMs aren't working, blah, 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 blah. Everybody and their uncle wants to go raid Walmart or any other grocery store nearby, right? So do you want to be caught up in that mess when there's no law enforcement? Everybody's breaking in and trying to steal food and getting out? Or they'll just sit outside the store, blow you away when you come out with a grocery cart full of stuff, and then take it from you. So, guys, you don't want to be in these situations. So, to shield yourself from those situations, you want to do your prepping now and do it smart. Put away some cheap food. It's so simple to do. It's redonkulous. And then it'll save your life, guys. And you can eat it if you think it's going to go bad. Like, say you're a couple years in and you think, hey, I got to use this stuff up. Well, use it up. Rotate it. You didn't lose any money, because guaranteed the price you paid for that food when you bought it is cheaper than it would be in the present when you're going to eat it. It's probably double or triple the price. So think about all these things, guys. It's pretty simple. It's good information to put out there. My mind is blown every time I hear people say they don't put food back but they're preppers. And I'm like, uh-huh. Yeah. You're the people that are going to end up getting shot in the woods and having your gear stolen because you think you're going to be all good. Like I can just imagine somebody up in a deer blind that they had pre-positioned somewhere, and then all these newbies just flood the forest, and you're up in your deer blind. You can see all this shit going on and probably hear it from miles off, and you're skunked that day. Not only you're skunked, when you're coming down the blind, somebody's probably going to end up shooting your ass and taking your gear, or just shooting you because they think you're a squirrel or a bear or whatever, because they don't know what the hell they're doing. So think about it, guys. It's not a joke, even though it sounds ridiculous and funny. It's not a joke. Like, you can laugh at it now because it's not out there yet, but it will. It's just a matter of time when that stuff happens. It's ridiculous. So these are the things you got to think about for, you know, prepping, disasters, emergencies. And I don't know, I would not chance it. You know, and the skeptical people may buy the crappiest food going just to put back. Well, that's a hell of a lot better than an empty stomach after a week or so, guys, right? So, in retrospective, guys, let's get into it. Get some cheap food. Learn on YouTube how to store it very cheaply on a budget, effectively. Look at some of my storage videos if you are interested. And, you know, buy some seasonings, some spices. Put all this stuff back. Then you're going to be laughing. You don't have to leave your bug out location. You could stay there for weeks if you had to. Months, years. If you stored up the proper amount of stuff. Without going out, which means your risk of dying is good. Or not. Let me... that wasn't right. So, if you're able to stay in your bug out location, hidden away, not make a lot of noise, not be seen, have plenty of food, plenty of water, you won't be dying out there. Chances are. Now, obviously, you still got to be... all your focus will then be on security and seeing what's going on in the outside world. But then again, I wouldn't want to be messing around on the radios because eventually somebody's going to find you and track you down. So, not a good thing. So, my camera's about dead, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you would like more of this kind of video, tell me in the comments. Thumb up, thumb the video up, and also consider becoming a Patreon member. Only $1 a month, guys. Thanks for watching.